more incredible entertainment.
Going to have a little fun.
Upgrade your subscription between the 13th of January and the 31st of March and get an even higher package for a whole month on us.
You gotta know what you want.
If you're on Access, step up to Family and we'll up your shows to Compact. If you're on Family, step up to Compact and we'll up your shows to Compact Plus. And if you're on Compact, step up to Compact Plus and we'll up your shows to Premium. DSTV, your home of entertainment.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. Pardon us, we're a little behind schedule, but we're here to do what we love to do for God and country. So what's up with you this Saturday though? Apart from listening to Home Affairs and staying with our programs, what else would you be doing? Whatever it is, we pray for grace for you. We pray for strength and be safe. I have a friend who would always say that no matter what, stay alive. So take care of yourselves no matter what you're doing and remember to stay alive. God's got you at all times. True, sometimes it's hard. And I know what I am talking about. But yeah, jinyamidi. Mfantifu so obey ye. Kwamo nyumwa eba hionu. Mau waga anyonyoga siya. Where my mother comes from, we say maula we ilanyo sia. Keep hope alive. Good morning once again. Home Affairs, Joy 99.7 FM. And Home Affairs is brought to you by Vitamilk. Indeed, a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. So what's on our plate this morning? We are happy to have Alex King Nati back. Alex is the Assistant Divisional Officer, Public Relations Department, Ghana National Fire Service. Last week, your questions. We're going to go into those questions, and if you have more, you want to send them. Hey, last week you people were behaving like we have never had Home Affairs before. It's like this is the first time we've had Home Affairs because like the conversation was just too good. Within the week, the calls, the messages, the commendations, the appreciation messages. Oh, wow. We're happy that we are able to impact your homes. After this, we will be having conversations on safety. If you're home and your child is choking, do you know what to do? Hey, bring water, pour water, people do this, that the right thing to do. We want to learn all of these things so that when it happens, before help comes, you know, what are we able to do to salvage the situation? So we'll be learning all of these. Alex, thank you. Good morning, and we're happy to have you back.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Oh, the only part I feel bad about is to have you geared up early morning like that. But today when we finish, we'll take a photo.
I did for you.
Because your gear is nice. So we'll take a photo this morning. But anyway, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
How's the family?
Everyone is fine. Thank you so much.
Are they listening?
I hope so.
Alex's family, thank you very much for loaning him to us once again. We appreciate you, madam, and the children. Okay, great. So, Alex, last week, for those of you who, let me try, go to my notes and see if I can recap some of the things that we talked about last week, and then we can continue. Last week we spoke about the question was do you know what to do just in case fire starts in your home? Do you know what to do even before help arrives? Yeah. And honestly, I'm looking for my notes. I'm telling you, like, okay, yeah, I think I found it.
Okay.
Alex, he gave us a lot of, insights. And some of the things I wrote down was he took us back to talk about even before, how to safeguard yourself. First, he says that if you have very important documents, so like right now that we're here, if you haven't made like scanned digital copies of your important documents, please do. You can save them even on your WhatsApp. You can save them on email, on the clouds, wherever. So your documents, all those very valuable documents that you may need to fall on, you should make digital copies of them and save them in your mail, on the clouds and wherever. Now, he also said that before anything, learn to practice fire escape routines. For instance, he says that the smoke can kill you in very few seconds, 30 seconds to a minute. You can inhale a lot of that smoke, and then, it will disable you, and then you won't be able to escape. He says that close your eyes. It's a drill you should do, you and your children. Close your eyes and see if you can navigate your home and certain spaces. If you close your eyes, can you walk to, all the doors in your house? Do you know where some of those important things is, so that you don't need to always have so if there's fire and your things are off, how do you escape if you can't see? So practice all of those. You should also make sure that you know all your alternative exits, and they must always be clear of you for any form of emergency. I remember he said that at some of the doors, that's when we are putting the table and packing suitcases and gallons and things. No. Those places will have to be very clear and free, so that in case of anything, you're able to easily escape. If possible, leave the keys in the door lock, so that if you have to just open it, it's not now that you are going to scan and look for the key somewhere. Yeah. And make sure that if you have to remove them, then they have to be at a place that you can easily pick. And then he also talked about the doors, that when you're going to buy all those fancy doors, be very careful. Some of them will expand during fire. And then when it expands, then the doorway becomes closed and you're trapped inside. So make sure that you're buying doors that are fire resistant. And then he also mentioned that if you can get collapsible burglar proofs, all well and good, so that in case of anything, you can go. That's when somebody sends a message and says they're keeping some hammer by their bed all the time, so that in case of anything, he's breaking.
When you keep, okay, I'll address that one.
He's breaking the wall.
I've seen a lot of comments like that, even on my personal wall.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it's funny, but I'll talk about that one also.
Okay, great. And then we should also memorize the fire safety numbers: 192, 119.
No, 112.
192.
192,
112. Okay. Hey, let me correct my notes. Sure, before I mislead myself and my audience. So
the 192 is the specific number for fire.
Yes.
And then the 112 is the central emergency line.
112.
Yes.
And then the 0302 772 446.
I think maybe we could even try to see if the number works, especially the landline, so that people can memorize it. And then,
yeah.
Yes.
So the landline again is 0302 772 446.
Exactly.
Keep that. 0302 772 446. And then 192 and then 112. Okay. Says that we also know that there are not enough fire stations, so should be one of the advocacies that we all should embark on. And I also wrote here that do not open doors when the doorknobs are very hot.
Yes.
Says it means the fire is fully developed. And if you open it, you could be thrown off back into the room, and then you may not be able to escape. So that's one of the things. Daniela, you are distracting me. What's your problem now? Okay, great. Yeah, I'm sure everybody heard that phone ring. It's Alex's phone, and his phone will be ringing. He has a, how do you call it? Is it the talk? Yes, he has it. So all of that will happen on the show. This one, yeah. And then he says, so you shouldn't run cables under the carpet, right? Because heat could make it. Oh, let me put on your microphone. Yeah, great. And then do not overload extension boards.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Whenever you are cooking, do not leave your food unattended.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes.
Proper housekeeping can prevent fires.
Exactly.
Could you expand on that again? I've forgotten the things you said around.
Okay, so I mentioned that cobwebs are highly, combustible material, and so once it comes into contact with fire, it ignites very well.
Okay.
We know that these cobwebs even fall down. So if it's on fire and then probably a fire is at the top, once it falls down on your carpet, it can spread the fire. So housekeeping helps with trying to, reduce the speed of the spread of fires in your house.
Okay.
And then again, if you don't practice good housekeeping and it invites rats and mice into your house, these rats and mice can chew on your electrical cable, thereby exposing the cable to any contact that can start a fire.
Okay. You also mentioned that we should keep the children away from
the kitchen.
The kitchen.
Very important. So today I would even talk a bit more about children also in the kitchen.
Okay.
The role children play when it comes to fires, and how as parents we can do well to make sure that we as much as possible reduce children causing fires at home.
Okay. And then we should keep the match away from from the children.
Exactly, very important.
Do not keep cylinders in the kitchen.
Yes.
Gas expands, so do not fill it to the brim.
To the brim, exactly.
It can explode. Do not. What did I write? You said wet blankets are also useful.
Yes, wet blankets are also useful
For gas fires.
For gas fires, you know, because then the wet, because the water tends to block the pores that would have been in the water, that would have been in the blanket, and then it's able to help prevent oxygen from getting to the fire.
Okay. I mean, but me, I have been a good student. So did you take notes? Were you following? What notes did you take last week? You might want to help me. Because, Alex, I have done well, right?
Oh, very well. This
Yes,
one.
I was
This one, if I was a teacher, I would have given you 90%.
See, my eye read rough. Okay, so we'll go through some of the questions before you touch on the few things that
No problem.
you'd want to touch on.
Sure.
First. Okay, so this one says, how do you know if the door you are buying is fire resistant? That's the first one.
Okay, so I know these doors come with serial numbers.
Okay.
You know, some of them, they come with serial numbers, the brands. You can Google them and then read reviews that people have posted about these doors.
Okay.
Okay, and then if in doubt, try and talk to your fire officer. You know, once we even touch the material, you'll be able to know that it's plastic or it's metal or the kind of metal that you're dealing with. So I know people were coming after me that I'm spoiling people's markets. I'm not spoiling people's markets. I'm thinking about the general safety or the welfare of the people. So before you buy, just Google it. I think our standards authority can do much more when it comes to ensuring that these doors that are coming meet both the safety and security standards.
Right.
That would help to protect the people. So you can just look for the serial numbers on it, Google, and then just be sure of what you're buying.
Great. So what? We should maintain people's businesses and have people trapped in their homes for this.
I'm surprised.
That one will not happen. Alex, please, everything you have to spew. Give us all the apple. Okay, so that's what he said about that. Get the serial number, Google it, find the reviews, and if you have to go to the extent of, involving a fire officer, you'd want to do that just to ensure that you're safe, because you don't know when fire will come knocking. Please, Edem, find out from me if it's true that you don't make calls in the kitchen whilst using the gas. Is that true?
Yes. Phones give radiation signals, and these radiation signals are forms of heat. So again, as we had mentioned earlier, the three things come together for fires to start. That's oxygen, fuel, and heat. So in the case where you have oxygen all around you, you're cooking with gas. Once you're making calls and emitting these signals, then they can serve as heat source, coming together, and boom, can start a fire. Yes. Okay.
So there you have it, Raphael. But it's wow. Some of us, like,
people are guilty.
I mean, the phone sometimes is even placed very close to the.
It's very dangerous. So from today, I hope people repent.
We have repented. Though.
Amen.
We have repented. Wow. It's not easy. That one, I am so guilty. It's not funny. Someone says, good morning, please. Edem, I would like to know, does the fire control room have a system that can check if there's a fire outbreak somewhere without a call from the affected area? And can the control room call ECG directly to put off the light?
Okay, so the control room can't just dispatch someone without a call. But then at the various stations, we have what we call, so there are different types of fire calls that we receive. So you can call the fire station, which we encourage people to do. Know the fire station closer to you and call their number when there's an emergency, so that the call goes directly to that particular station, and then they're able to dispatch. If the call goes to the central control room, it means that they will now have to call the closest station to you before they dispatch that's all time being spent. So it's important that if you stay within Legon, you go to the fire station at the University of Ghana, get their number. So when there's an emergency, you call them directly, and then they come. So that's one thing we encourage people to do, because the central control room, everyone is calling that number, so it gets busy. But once you call Legon, not everyone probably would have called the Legon station. So exactly, so it's easy for them to come. One other thing is called one other approach is running call, where people run to the station to report of a fire. I remember I was renting an interview to MFA and Co, and someone ran in with a motor, that there was a fire at Mamobi. At that time, the call had already come to our control room, and we're dispatching the fire tender. So quickly, you just joined the team, and then they went to Mamobi. So running call is also an option, where in case your line is not going through, you can just run to the fire station, tell them there's an emergency, quickly they'll move with you to go. Again, we have what we call station outlook. That's what happened at Makola, at the Kantamanto fire. So the station outlook is that when the team or the crew are at the fire scene, they can see thick smoke coming from somewhere and decide to proceed. So when we were fighting the fire recently, somewhere last week at Tantra Hill, I think on Tuesday or so, at Tantra Hill, we saw thick smoke coming from a distance. So quickly we sent some of our people to go and check what kind of fire it is, because then would have moved again from Tantra Hill to that fire. So Kantamanto, for instance, before we even received a call, our team received a call about the fire at Kantamanto. Our team had already seen thick smoke in the air, and we're getting ready to go when a small boy walked into the station. That's the running call to inform them of the fire at Kantamanto. So yes, so unfortunately, what he's talking about there, whether they can be able to send a team to go without, then means that it's the station outlook that will fit in better, where the crew on duty would see the smoke and decide to proceed.
I think he's even asking about a digital system, where we have all our homes or communities linked to a certain system that you can have an alert that something is happening in this area, even if you don't have the direct house. Once you are in the area, it makes it easier. Do you have anything like that? Not yet.
They should call for more investment into the Ghana National Fire Service.
So the answer is not yet. Okay. So please, that's it for you. And he's told you the different ways. Now I want to find out something.
Okay.
What's your dispatch routine like?
Okay, so
is it that, this was running through my head, is it that you have your fire tenders and everything ready, with the driver always seated in and ready to move, or it is when we receive the call that we have to now start running around to get ready?
So we're always ready.
Okay.
In fact, when the control room dispatches a team to go to the scene, within 1 minute, you have to communicate. When you receive the call, within 1 minute, you have to communicate that you are on your way to the fire scene.
Okay.
So if within a minute or like more than a minute, you've not you've not proceeded, the control room will come in, because mind you, everybody, including our chief fire officer and every single senior officer, or commander, has the walkie-talkie. So once you've been dispatched, everybody is monitoring. Why haven't they moved? So the thing is that, let me try and educate people with this. When you go to a fire station, depending on how the fire tender is packed, that should inform you whether the fire tender is working or not. If the fire tender is parked in a reverse parking position, it means that it is ready for action. It means that it is working.
Okay.
So when you go and the front is facing the gates,
it
means that it's working and it's ready to move. If it's parked the other way around, it means that the fire tender is faulty.
But your fire tenders cannot be faulty. They are not supposed to be faulty for even like 30 minutes.
And so please help us tell government to help us. Because you see, we do our best as a service to fix them when it's broken down. Trust me, there's a lot. As I think I mentioned last time, Adenta was out of commission. We fixed it. It's now working. Wager was out of commission. We fixed it. Yes, they even had to proceed to a fire. As I speak, Kaswa's tender is out of commission. I'm sure within the week it would have it fixed. But you see, that's not the permanent solution. The permanent solution is to have it, have new fire tenders, but for the Ghana National Fire Service, so that at any point, we know that even if it will start breaking down, it will take so many years before. But since these ones are about 15 years old,
oh dear,
and I'm sure in your seat, it's been a long time you heard of any donation to the Ghana National Fire Service.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even from our allies that we fight their fire for, ECG, there's not been any donation from ECG. Because I think over the weekend or a few days ago, there was a fire at their warehouse at Cape Coast. We fight their fires, all the electrical fires, we fight it, but we don't receive any kind of donation from them. So it becomes unfortunate that key stakeholders that we work for or work with do not really even support the Ghana National Fire Service. And so our leadership are committed to do their best, but there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
So we need support from government, we need support from civil societies. People can, communities or organizations can decide to say, okay, fine, we want to dig a mechanized borehole for the fire service in their station, so that at any time they can replenish from these mechanized boreholes and fight a fire. 2 or 3 days ago, our regional commander at Bono sent me a video where they had gone to sent me a video where a fire hydrant is, someone had actually situated their store and had covered the whole hydrant with tiles. Yes, they had covered the whole hydrant with tiles.
Ignorance.
No, but it's wickedness, because you've seen clearly a mount there. That should suggest to you, and I should have sent the video to Daniela earlier. You'd have seen that, like, they opened it and there was water flowing in the market area. So meaning that in case there was fires, this hydrant was there working. That could have helped us fight fire much easier. But someone has decided to situate
not important.
Exactly. Cover the whole place with
So what has been done?
So they had to break down, like, break down there's that area, and then now the hydrant is there for us. Wow. There are times we fight fires. We're fighting fire at Tantra Hill on Tuesday. We had to move all the way to Alaju to replenish and come back.
Look
at the distance from Tantra Hill going to Alaju Police Depot, replenish and come back again to Tantra Hill. Nabeng.
No.
So there are challenges, there are legitimate concerns that are being overlooked by people. Imagine, as I've always said, the big area like Achimota, Tantra Hill, Ofanko, La Paz, Dakuman, Odoko.
Very densely populated.
We don't have a single fire station there. So with all these places I just mentioned, if there's any fire, the appliance will move from Abelenke to go there. So if you stay at Tabora, at La Paz, Odoko, Dakuman, Achimota, Tantra Hill, if there's a fire, the plans to move from Abelenke traffic lights to go there. Look at the traffic situation.
And then usually there's only one at every station?
Yes. Ideally, if we were well resourced, we should have had at least 2 fire tenders situated at every fire station, so that in the event where there's a fire, yes, or okay, let's say there's a fire and they've moved, and then within that same area there's under fire,
you can
there's
move
still
another one.
Exactly.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you've dispatched one to Tabora and there's something happening,
that means I would have to now wait for the one from Circle or our headquarters to
that's
now
total
proceed.
Distraction, isn't it?
Exactly.
And I think that whilst we wait for all of these issues to be fixed, then these conversations are really very important for people to now practice a lot of safety measures. Because if we're not doing all of these, in addition to all the challenges there are, then we have issues. Was it yesterday or so that we lost Uncle Mali,
Uncle Mali.
also because of fire?
Fire.
And these things, we can't continue to let them happen.
It's
we all
unfortunate.
need to be educated, armed, and also advocate for you people to be resourced.
Exactly.
It's very important.
It's far overdue because
Wow.
looking at the fire that even happened at Cantamanto, we had over 13 fire tenders. Believe it or not, almost all the fire tenders in Accra,
We're moved there.
yes, including the one at Flagstaff House and Parliament, were all moved there. So, God forbid if something had happened at Parliament,
What would
something
have
happened at the flag presidency. Not that we did that out of malice, but out of necessity.
Of course. Of course.
So
Of course.
they should call into question more support for because the last time fire service received any major retooling was after the Ministry of Foreign Affairs got bent. We don't have to wait for another disaster to
Like
happen
that.
before we retool the fire service.
Whew. So what we will do is that we'll pass this conversation also on.
Sure.
Our morning show teams.
We'll
you
be very
know,
grateful.
to also push this conversation a bit further. Okay, let me get back to
Your questions.
my questions. Yes, it's worrying though. Hello, Edem. So please, I use a 6 kg gas cylinder that has a burner on it. That one, last week we spoke about it. So it means that I cook directly on the cylinder, which I want to know. I want to know at what level should I always have it filled. At the filling station, the attendant would say that standard. At what level is the standard? And this is what Celestine wants to know.
Okay, so I don't know what the attendants mean by standard, but
Exactly.
but then if you use a 6 kg, to be safe, just probably let them fill it up to 5 kg for you, so that at least you know that you are safe from fires. So yeah, so at least leave a kilogram, a kg, to spare in case of fires.
Okay, great.
In case of
I'll get back to your question soon, but you wanted us to talk about children
yes.
and how they can cause fires and how we should keep them away from fires in the kitchen. So let's get into that.
Okay, so it's important. I'll reiterate this point that keep matches or lighters or anything that can, thing that can generate heat out of the reach of children. This includes irons. This includes matches. This includes lighters. If you're a parent who is a smoker, try and keep your lighter, which is your tool, away from kids. Get your kids some toys so that they don't get fascinated with matches and lighters. Then again, what I said, being, practicing the escape plan with your children at home, it's a very important thing. Let me bring this point in first. So this here is a smoke detector. This is how the smoke detector looks like.
Okay.
For the benefit of those who are watching on Facebook,
Yeah.
but those on radio, unfortunately,
You should catch it on social media, please.
Exactly.
After here, go and have a look at it.
at it
We're
exactly.
streaming Ajoy 997 Facebook and also on YouTube. So you want to catch everything.
Everything. So this is how the smoke detector looks
Okay.
like, and it uses a battery. So the battery needs to be checked periodically to be sure that it's still working. So now it's fitted in. It's that simple to fit. So now I need to test it to see if it's working.
Okay.
So this is how. So once it detects fires, it gives this very irritating sound.
Very annoying.
Very annoying. So you teach your kids that this is a smoke detector, so that when the kids are home, let them know this sound. So when they are home and they hear this sound, they know there's danger somewhere.
At what level will the smoke be before the detector goes off?
Well, depend on the sensitivity of
The
the
detector you have.
yes, but once it comes into contact with it, it will just allow it to start alarming. So some of them are very sensitive at the early stages, so just pick it up. Some might also not. So depend on the brand that you get, but ordinarily they are all supposed to, once it gets to a certain level or it detects a certain heat in the room, it will go off.
So next question I want to ask as a follow-up to this is, okay, so we hear the sound. What do we do next?
So when you hear the sound, it's important that you go out and you stay out and call for help.
Okay. You don't try to do anything?
So because you have a detector you realize that fire started at the early stage or the incipient stages when it's manageable, and you have an extinguisher at home, you can try tackling with the extinguisher.
Okay.
But once it's a fully developed fire, please go out, stay out, and call for help.
Seriously, if the detector has to go off when the fire is fully developed, you need to condemn that.
No, okay, so so maybe it depends on when you hear of the detector.
It depends on when
exactly.
you hear. You may
maybe
be
you are
sleeping.
asleep, exactly. So you might hear the sound, and it would keep sounding until maybe it becomes recurrent or becomes very obstructive. Then you wake up
and you realize that
it has exacerbated into a full-blown fire.
Yeah.
Then in that case, you go out, stay out, and under no circumstance should you say that your brother is inside, so you're going to get them, please. Because once you go in, it's likely both of you might not be able to come out again.
Yeah.
So once you go out, stay out and call for help. When going out, if you can, the key word here is if you can, so no one puts themselves in harm's way and quotes me. If you can, close your windows and doors behind you when you're going out.
Even if your siblings are inside.
If your siblings are inside, and as it has started at the early stage, you can help get them out. But if it's a fully developed, exactly, don't. And so when or maybe when you're going out to stay safe, and you can close your windows and doors.
Okay.
To prevent oxygen from entering. At least it will contain the fire, and prevent the oxygen from making it worse at that point.
And call for help.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so
and then it's important that you teach your children not to be scared of firefighters. I think amongst all the security services, we are the if I'm not bluffing, I'll say we are the most friendliest.
Right.
So teach your kids not to be scared of firefighters, and then occasionally take them to the local fire station within your community and let them interact with fire officers.
Okay, great.
We are there for you. So yeah, it's one of the things that we would like to encourage people. Let your children know that firefighters are there for them. They are friendly. So just let them be, because once you let them know that we are friendly, in case there's any emergency and they are stuck inside and we are trying to get them, they'll feel comfortable coming out, to us for us to help them. But once they are scared of us, we come in and we are calling out who is around,
They don't want to come out.
They might not want to come
way.
out. So teach your children to be friendly towards fire officers. See that, and then one way to do that is to take them to some fire stations within your community, and then let them just interact with the officers there.
Okay.
So that at least that friendship, that trust, and that bond is established. Exactly.
How about the drills? Are you able to organize it for families just in case? How do you do it for the general public?
Well, we embark on a lot of fire safety drive. We are on a lot of fire safety drive. We are starting our fire safety week. Coincidentally, we are starting our fire safety week this week.
Okay.
So as part of the activities tomorrow, our various stations and within different communities will be going to churches to hold fire education for them. And then Monday we'll have the launch of the fire safety week, which will be packed with a lot of campaigns to help draw people's attention to the need of the need for fire safety. So our last time I mentioned, our director of safety, Madam Ausi, has a solid team. She's very committed, and they've put measures in place to make sure that the fire. I can tell you that we've recorded lesser fires within these few days. Initially, at night, we used to go for fires a lot. At dawn, we can go for up to 5, 6, 7 fires at dawn. But now, comparatively, now I'm able to sleep small because monitoring, you don't hear any fires happening that often at dawn. So the fire safety week, we just encourage people to embrace us so that we'll be able to teach them. They shouldn't ignore our people, and they shouldn't tell us their mind that especially the market women. When we go, some of the comments, the mama behind me, mentor at the may mentor at the mason, but was share on your share, was where she's at the chance, so we encourage people to try and embrace us, and then let your children embrace us, so that when there's an emergency, they can be much more receptive towards us, for us to be able to help them.
And the churches and all of these other organizations, sometimes it sounds like, oh, these people, they are coming to worry us and things like that. But it's important that we listen to these things. But how about the communities?
So the communities, we knock on doors a lot. We organize fire safety.
Nobody has ever come to my house.
Which area do you stay? Maybe, who knows, by the time they come, you're not around, but
well, that could be, but there's always someone at home.
Okay, but then we trust me, we're back on the safety drive a lot. Every fire station has a safety department. Every fire station has a safety department, so I'm sure they will get to you. So.
But I think that as part of the things you do, it will also be great for those communities to organize the community drives, announce that, oh, today this will be happening here at probably at a center, and then families can plan to be there. Sometimes you guys do the simulations and things like that, and then they can be part of it. I think that whilst we wait for donations and all your problems to be fixed, one of the things that you have in your hands that we are probably not waiting for, I think that those things also cost a little bit of money, but those ones are manageable, to be able to train people and get people to learn how to be safe and to fight the onset of fires around their homes. So you might want to consider doing that at community levels quite often too.
We've been doing that, and you see, nothing again also stops the communities from putting themselves together and going to the fire station that we want to learn how to be safe, and then they organize. We are there for you. So you just walk to the fire station, see the safety department, tell them that you're a community of maybe 10 household and you want to learn fire safety. They will come in, then they will teach you.
I totally agree to that one as well. Yes. And I think I'm going to be championing that in my community. Exactly. So if you're listening to us, maybe that's the one thing that you can also do for your community. Put people together. And then, invite somebody, or you might even want to go there and have some of these things. One weekend and have these conversations, so that you're also looking out for each other in your communities on the other, so that we all can be safe. Someone says that I think they should do area to area fire safety, because it has never happened in my area in Osu. Alex, the feedback is coming.
But I'm sure you would get the message where someone would have also said that they've seen us. So it's I won't say he's lying, but I'll say he should wait. We'll get there, or he can still go to the fire station and then engage them.
Okay, someone said, let me take time and read this message. It says, Edem, please don't shade us for our excitement last week and today's continuation. Hey, me myself, I'm too excited. You have no idea. Shading bad. See, I watched a short video some time ago, and the lady was cooking, wearing hot pants, and the boyfriend or the husband entered the kitchen and spanked. All of a sudden, she was carried into the bedroom, and I was like, okay, so this topic is a good one. I get what you're saying. Edem, does the fire service have every building design? And does the Ghana National Fire Service have a civil engineering department to help our civil engineers concerning our modern buildings? Thanks for reading my messages.
Okay, so by law, before you build, you're supposed to bring your building plan to the fire service, so that we'll be able to make inputs in it for you. So by law, it's mandated. So that's a building permit. So even if you go to EPA will ask you to come to fire service for a permit before you're allowed to build. So once you bring the plan, we are able to look at your plan, make inputs maybe when it comes to alternative exit routes, so that in case of an emergency, that you can be able to pass somewhere. But we find ourselves in a system where sometimes compliance becomes a problem. Some will comply, some will not comply. So we have that department, and we are committed. We are hoping that with platforms like these, awareness will be drawn for people to know the importance of bringing their building plans to fire service for us to make our inputs.
Great. Good morning. Please help us with our lovely, help us wish our lovely mother, Mrs. Rahel Osei Simpri, a happy birthday. May she live long, more strength, more blessings in Jesus' name. And this is from Adum, Mawina, and Asida. So, Madame Rahel Osei Simpri, happy birthday to you. And this is from your children. They wish you more strength, long life, and more blessings in Jesus' name. Alex, there were a few things you wanted to touch on as well, apart from the children.
Okay, so let me stress on the children a little bit more.
Okay.
So teach your children to see fires, lighters or matches as something bad, so that when they see matches, they'll either call their parents or call a responsible adult that maybe daddy, mommy, see there's a matches here, so you can be able to take it away. So at that early stage, teach them that maybe matches are something bad, something that can cause harm. Put it in their head so that when they see, they're able to tell you exactly. So they don't even play with it, to even scare them to even touch it. That is one way of making sure that you are safe from fires.
Let me ask you a question. So if you're cooking with fire, especially for the young ones, and a lot of them will tell you that they're scared, right? You're cooking with fire, and you know how the last time we talked about it, you put something in the oil and you get the and then all of a sudden the fire comes up like that.
Yeah.
I mean, their first inclination most of the time will be to leave it and run away.
Well, it depends on how
Should
far.
they leave it and run?
So it depends on how well for your safety. When it comes like that, you go back a bit, but don't run away, cry. Because if you run away, cry, you can probably take some steps back, to stay safe by running away, cry. Because we have to again see whether after it happened, it has spread. It has probably landed on something combustible and it's starting a fire somewhere. So if you run away and it's starting a fire somewhere, how will you be able to know that?
You know what I don't like about fire? I'm sure a lot of people will. See, when you are deliberately trying to burn something, the thing will not burn.
It looks like it has a mind of its own.
Hey. But when you don't want it to burn, that's when it burns. Like, you're trying to,
That's when it decides to show you shaggy.
It's one of the things. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sometimes, and then, when you pick the matches, that's when, I think I even forgot to mention this. The accounts will say, so now let me add this one to it, that I think one thing people do a lot is that when they are starting their stoves, you realize that they turn the gas on before they are now trying to light. This your A.
No, I said no. People, okay, no. As for that one, they're no way.
Thank God you're not guilty. Thank God you're not guilty. That's good. That's one. It's a very bad practice.
Yeah.
The best way to do it is to light your matches and then take it closer to the burner before you turn it on. Some matches are not correct. Some might be wet, So when you decide to turn on the gas before you are now lighting, you might strike.
But why would you even want to do that?
Even with me, when I was growing up, I was guilty. Yes.
I see.
And so I'm sure there are a lot of people who are guilty.
I mean, but fortunately now, some of the gas stoves,
they are self-igniting.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I guess that helps. So in the case of that fire, when it starts during your cooking, and the oil and the fire thing, and you have your cylinder outside, you can run outside and turn the cylinder off.
Yes.
Does that work too?
Yes, you can run outside and turn the cylinder off. And even the best way to even turn off your cylinder after you are done cooking.
You said it last week.
Yes, to turn it off from the gas cylinder itself, so that the rest of the content within the tube comes out, and then there's no risk of fires left within the tube. Again, before you go and sleep, one thing is that before you go and sleep, please go and check your kitchen before you go and sleep. Before you put off your light, go to the kitchen. Make sure that your burners, everything are off. Make sure that you don't smell any gas. There's a technology. There's a gas. It's in my car. I should have brought it. There's a gas leakage alarm system, just like yes. So that one, for instance, you plug it in your kitchen. So when there's a gas leak, it detects it, it sounds an alarm for you to know that there's a gas leakage in your kitchen. So that's also there. It's not really common, but there's a few in the market. You can buy it and then stay safe so that if you have catarrh and you can't smell the gas,
At least.
the sensor is able to smell it for you and make the noise and then be able to draw attention to it.
Honestly, after last week, I think my house people are beginning to think that, Mommy, you are doing too much.
Sure, they don't know. Because if it happens,
I will check everything, unplug everything.
they'll be like, Mommy, why are you doing this? They don't know. Sure.
In the morning, they go like, okay. I said, you have no idea. You're doing
It's very good. I'm sure when they grow, they will understand.
Yes.
When they grow, they will understand.
You talk to them, and sometimes people feel like, oh, you're doing too much. But of course, if the too much will keep all of us safe, why
It's the best.
not?
It's the best.
You know,
It's the best.
Why not? Nobody said that accidents can't happen.
It will
Accidents can
happen.
They can happen, but you also have to do your best. Do your best.
Okay.
Alex, I'll come back to you for
Okay.
us to take a few more tips. What next do you want us to talk about?
So I don't know, somewhere last year there was a student at Apia Minkas. I'm not, pardon if I mess up the name of the school in Kumasi, where he said he was a chief priest and then he was playing with fire and
In the
he caught
school?
and he caught on fire and then he died out of the burns.
He, the student.
Yes, he the student. So this, I'm just using it to build on the foundation that when you find yourself on fire, do not run. Do not run, because that's what he did. The video that I saw, when he was on fire, he was running. And once you run, you are inflaming the fire more because more oxygen is coming in. So when you find yourself on fire, please, I know you know in the heat of the moment you might not remember, but try and remember. Drop and roll
On the floor.
Yes, stop. So once you stop, there's no oxygen. At least you are not inviting more oxygen. Stop, drop on the floor and roll. You roll to the right,
As much as you
roll
can.
to the left as much as you can until the fire is out.
Okay.
You keep rolling, roll on the floor so that one stop. But to run, it means that you're inviting death.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want to chip again in the kitchen. When you're cooking, try to keep anything that can burn away from the burner. You realize that someone will be cooking, they have their wooden, their plastic ladle there. They have their.
But we are using it to cook.
Yeah, so keep it away from the burner. So once you stir it, then you put it on the sink somewhere.
It's hard though.
But you might keep it here and then, especially when the person again goes out to make a call, leaving the food unattended. So the person will leave the napkin, maybe after using the napkin to clean the part of the utensil nicely, the person will just leave it on the burner. It is inviting fires. So let's try to keep that away. Again, make sure that you clean your gas stove or your burner very often, because an accumulation of grease buildup can also invite fires. So when if all this oil that you use, if all the grease as all builds up on your stove, once the fire catches any of this, it can spread and then bring much more problems to you.
I mean, from what we are learning, it is sounding like if the fire starts in your kitchen, then you are in trouble. If the fire starts in the kitchen and it is unattended, because there are so many things in the kitchen that have come. Like, I am looking at my kitchen.
the napkins you have there, the wooden ladle,
The plastic things you have, and all
and
of
you have
them.
curtains also in the kitchen, right?
No, not the tomato.
But you'd be surprised people have curtains.
Normal curtains.
Yes. In the kitchen.
Of
and that's
course,
also,
if that's what you can afford, you still want to keep the place really
but
cool.
these curtains are also highly combustible materials.
A lot of things in the
Yes.
kitchen are very combustible.
I tell you. So if you joke, no.
I think apart from the saucepans itself. Lord have mercy on us. So yeah, we just need to be cautious. I want to find out if the responsibility of the individual building. I want to find out if it is the responsibility of the individual building to go to the fire service with the building plan, or they work with the office who gives permits for the building.
I don't know how to say fortunately or unfortunately, but you have to bring it to the fire service. So you apply. You're applying for the building permit. So yes, you have to come, and then once you come, we'll have it done for you.
Okay. So what it is that if the person doesn't come, then that one.
But EPA, before EPA would give you the permit, it's a requirement you have to come to fire service. So yes, so if you want the EPA approval, it means that you still have to come to the fire service, unless of course you are building illegally.
Yeah.
And which you require them. But once you are building legally, once you go to EPA, you have to go to the fire service for the permit.
Great. I mean, this one, yeah, we addressed it somehow last week, but it's come back again. I say some of us, the area where we live won't allow us to keep our cylinders outside. Oh. Otherwise, before you realize, the second owner will come for it. We have no other options.
Oh, you have option. Oh. Just get a good welder to create a cage for you. Get a good welder to create a cage for you. So that one, even if you use 3 or 4 padlocks, because it's outside, it's not like it to put you in danger. So just try and keep it outside. Get a good welder to create a cage for you and keep it inside there for you.
How about the option of if you have to cook, then you probably will need a longer tube, so you take it outside, and when you finish cooking and everything is off, you can bring it back inside. Do you advise that?
I'll still not advise that,
You won't
because
advise
in case there's any fire, because the gas cylinder
in
is
the
inside, once it comes, it would cause an explosion. So it means that the risk factor is still there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone says that they think you should do area to area, the drills. Yeah, that we also agree. But he has also said that, why don't you come together in your areas, especially following these conversations, and then go there and find out. Someone was asking that if you want to bring children for an excursion,
you can.
What do you do? What's the process?
Oh, you just go to the fire station, inform them that you don't visit the fire station on so and so date, and it's free. It's free to bring the children there. We'll have someone designated to,
take care of
them, engage them. They ask questions. Yeah, we too. We are fun to be with. We'll make it fun.
Oh, no, I can imagine. This one says that these days the rubber seals on the valves of our gas cylinders are of such poor quality that you have to change it every time you fill the cylinder.
You see,
I have a feeling that some of those people at the filling stations, they use it for business.
Yes, ideally we're supposed to have quality ones so that it's it's there for a very long time. But unfortunately, we find ourselves in places where people we don't get the best of quality of some of these things. And please, before they change the seal or the valve, or the washer, make sure that you check it and be sure that it's not the old one, because you realize that you go and then they just remove it, it falls on the ground, and then who knows, maybe in the night some of them can just wash it and still sell it to you as so just if you can they'll tell you a tuno, but being tuno and being safe is the best. So you can ask them that you want to see it, check and see if there's no wear or tear or it doesn't look old before they put it in your gas cylinder.
2 things I want to ask you before we go. Hey, where did the first one fly? Oh, okay. But let me start with this one that's on my mind. Sometimes you have neighbors who like to burn things, by their walls. And sometimes they are burning it right under the electricity poles, and you try to say 1 or 2, and then you're too known, you're this, and they hurl insults at you and all that. I have seen some happen before, not to me though, but it became a full-blown fight between, houses, and the other person's anger was that the smoke was entering their room. They had things on the line, and everything was smelling of the smoke and all that. Plus, this person was afraid that this thing can catch fire. What education do we give to these people?
Please, if possible, get a local fire station, someone there to go with you to the police station to report the person, because you realize that when you are burning, the embers are the things that fly, in the sky.
Yes.
Embers can also start fires. An ember flying can easily land on something combustible, in your compound. And then, as I mentioned last time, we have what we call smoldering. So once they land on maybe a chair, maybe you have a chair on your porch, so you realize that the embers flying can easily land on one of the cushion, at your blind side, and then it will take gently smolder, so it will gradually be burning small. So by the time you realize, boom, becomes a full-blown fire. And then you'll be like, but I have no electricity near no more. There's nothing that could have started the fire, but it's because of someone's indiscriminate burning, exactly, that the embers flew and then started the fire in your house.
But those who burn it right under, sometimes some of the poles are wooden. Who burn it right?
I don't know how they think.
Anyway?
I don't know how they think. Personally, I've stopped about 2 people whilst I was driving. I've stopped about 2 people before.
Wow.
Yes. When I asked them, is your brain on leave or on retirement? Because it doesn't make sense. So please, you have the right to stop them, because once the wooden pole catches fire, it's a death sentence.
And sometimes these are squatters,
So please let them know. Insist. Yesterday, for instance, I stay at the fire service flat just opposite the police depot, and there's a gas filling station just behind where I stay. And I was in a room when I heard some, like ignition. So it had gone on for about 5 minutes. So I got out and I realized there was smoke. A mechanic was trying to start a car, and for over 5 minutes had accumulated a lot of smoke in the atmosphere. I had to go there and give it to him, tell him to stop, because I told him that, look, we can't allow your recklessness to cause everyone, to be in danger.
Yeah.
Because he was emitting a lot of smoke, and there's a gas filling station just close by.
Yeah.
You see, so I had to let him stop. So think about your safety when you see someone doing something that will bring danger to all of you. Please do not think about diplomacy. Stop the person.
That is why it's important for this community thing we are talking about. That if we can organize ourselves in the community and have this education,
it's true.
It
Be able to identify
really
threats that can even start a fire.
It will really help.
It's very
yes,
true.
I remember what I was trying to say. Now another one has come to add to it. The stones and the they put on the cylinder so that they can have contact. And then recently I saw a video. Hitherto I didn't know, and I don't want to, like come and do any tune on here. That apparently the gas cylinders they will expire. You know how we refurbish them, right?
Yeah.
You've seen that it's old, it's rusty. You take it, they spray it for you, and then it looks all beautiful and new again. But apparently you've just painted the cracks on it. So I'd like you to touch on that a little bit before we leave.
A decorated monkey is still a monkey.
I know, right?
A decorated monkey is still a monkey, because once if the cylinder is old, please, your life is more valuable than the cylinder. The cylinders are manufactured with fire-resistant or materials able to hold the gas contents within the cylinders. Painting them does not complement the materials that were used. Welding them does not complement it. Then it means that the problem is still there. So I won't say gas cylinders expire, but they need to be checked, to be sure that they are still working. So every gas cylinder has the I'm trying to see how I can put this. So the servicing period for gas cylinders are grouped into four seasons. So we have the first, second, third, and fourth. So let's say the first quarter. So let's say that on the cylinder you see A24. It means that it's the first quarter of 2024.
It has expired.
It means that it needs to be checked to see if it's still working well.
Okay.
It needs to be checked to see if it's still working well.
Okay.
So if maybe it's D25, it means that it's the fourth quarter of 2025.
Doesn't mean that it's expired.
Doesn't mean that it's expired, but it means that if
How
we
do you
have
check
cylinder,
it? Who checks it?
so if we have cylinder manufacturing companies here in Ghana, they should be able to help you check whether it's still working.
So you have to take it to them.
Yes, to check whether it's still working based on the and it's written on the neck. So if you see,
Let me tell you, the day I found out I had that information, I went to check mine. I realized that, look, we had painted the whole thing, so you can.
it is dangerous. You know, we actually arrest people, those who paint the cylinders. We even arrest them.
So I am like, oh no. So I showed the video to my children. We said, so let's go and have the cylinders checked because you have quite a number of them. And then we realized that, okay, because you are refurbishing them and they're all looking beautiful.
It's a death sentence.
Then we just said to ourselves that, okay, Charlie, we just need to start buying new ones and
buy
don't
new
paint
ones
them.
and be free.
So
That one, buy new ones and be free.
That's what we have done. Because
buy new ones and be free.
once you've painted it, where will you find the thing? And you didn't know before.
Exactly.
You know, so some of these things are very important. You didn't talk about the stones.
That one. Just change them. Just change the head. The stones, you see, the stone can come off at any time.
And sometimes you change it, still it doesn't work.
So get a better one. Get, when ideally if you are going, even go with your cylinder to probably where you are buying it. Fit it on it and be sure you don't hear any coming out before you pay it. You pay for it. So when you go, you realize that when you are buying, they have different prices for different products. So they tell you, weigh 150, weigh 200. So, if you can afford the quality one and be sure that the stone is not permanent. The stone is not good.
Which one is the 200? Is it the cylinder itself
no,
or the head?
The head that goes on. Some might, some might say weigh 50, weigh 70, weigh 200. Just if you can buy the expensive one, which is good, and it will keep you safe. Do that. You have one life.
You see, a lot of people have come to realize that for some people, once they tell you this is 200, you think it is the best.
It's so funny the way we think.
Or better 20 Ghana, the other
I'm on 200 pounds. I'm going to say, the boy didn't papa. When the boy, me talk about no pan.
It's important that we find ways by which we can properly check these things and make sure that we're doing the right things.
Exactly.
Wow. No, there are two opposing opinions on my console.
Okay.
So someone says that, Ghana is becoming a modern community. We are growing, and so the new homes that are being built definitely should have, cooking gas pipelines to the kitchen to make it safe.
It's something that should be done. It's something that So I think homeowners who are listening or people into real estate should try and incorporate this into their system because they should bear in mind that when there's fire, it doesn't only affect the tenant, it affects you, the homeowner or the real estate company, because once the building is subject to some degree of fire, there will be cracks. You'd have to break down the building and rebuild it. So why don't you rather help keep your investment safe by doing the right thing? That would help protect your investments and then the people coming to occupy the building that you just put up.
Yeah. And that's what should be done.
Exactly.
Then the gentleman who we're addressing about not putting his cylinder in the kitchen, he's still saying that the thieves, they come prepared. They will come and cut the thing and carry your thing away. So we're telling you the right thing. If you insist that the wrong thing is what you must do, unfortunately, we can't say that, okay, go ahead and do it, because you may just not be endangering your life alone.
It's true.
But other lives may be endangered. So please, it's important that we don't focus. Alex said something very last week that was very instructive, that when a thief comes to your house, they can negotiate with you. But fire won't negotiate with you. So it's important that we find ways to do the right thing.
I think with what he's saying, it takes us back to even the security doors that we mentioned. People are when I even posted that interview on my page, people, 70% of people are saying because of the thief, so, please try and draw a fine balance between your security and your safety. When you think too much about the thief and you ignore your safety, if the thief comes to steal the cylinder, you're taking one cylinder away. But that same cylinder can kill you, kill your children, wipe out your whole generation. in one go.
And everything you have been meaning to protect.
To protect, exactly. And then the building, you even have to break down the building and rebuild the building. But if the thief steals the cylinder, you wouldn't have to rebuild your house. Once there's a will, you definitely find a way. If you want to keep your cylinder away from the thief, you definitely be able to find a way around it. There are some padlocks that they might not easily be able to get access to. There are ways that you can protect yourself, from these thieves.
Great. So my very good friend Mary sends me a message. She says we should talk about the phones and the gas cookers in the kitchen. And I told her that we've had that conversation. This one, I'm saying it so that she will hear. Then she sends me a message and says, we've talked about it. And Alexa said, no, don't combine the two.
Yeah.
She says, Edem, I know, but I am in the car with my house help. She still does it when I am not there. So say it to her hearing.
Also,
Mary, please send her name so that we can mention her name and address her. Why?
I tell you. Direct message, pa.
Now we'll come back to conclude with Alex on this topic. But the joy of every parent is to see their children grow healthy, become more intelligent and physically fit. And to achieve this desire, every parent needs to ensure that their children are given nutritious foods that has all the essential nutrients that can promote their well-being. And one of the best of such nutrients, such nutritious foods, is Vitamilk soy milk drink. It is made from whole grain soybean, which is a good source of plant protein, and it is enriched with omega-3, 6, and 9, calcium, and all the essential nutrients and multivitamins recommended for your healthy and daily living. Vitamilk has no artificial coloring, no flavorings, and no preservatives. So choose the Vitamilk champ for your children because the protein, calcium, and omega-3, 6, and 9 in there have all proven to help your adorable children grow smarter, healthier, and stronger every day. Vitamilk also comes in its regular soy milk drink, comes in the energy and the energy booster with no caffeine, the choco, the banana, the strawberry, and it is packed in 1 liter and also in the 250 ml Tetra Pak. Vitamilk is indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. And what makes you smile? Is it time with loved ones pursuing your passions or simply enjoying life's little moments? At Pinnacle Life Insurance, we believe that life insurance should do more than just protect your family's financial future. It should also help you live your best life now. Our policies offer comprehensive coverage, living benefits, and rewards to help you make the most of today because we think of wealth differently. At Pinnacle Life Insurance, we provide solutions that give you more for your smile, more time, more freedom, and more joy. So for more information on our policies, call us on 050-145-1400. Number again is 050-145-1400 or visit pinnaclelifeinsurance.com.gh. Pinnacle Life Insurance, more for your smile. Now let me tell you about 40 weeks and more. We've been on for how many weeks now? This will be our 6th week. So we talk about pregnancy, childbirth, and nurturing lives. And today on the show, we have Ramatu. She will be on the show to share with us how she navigated breast cancer treatment, her pregnancy, childbirth, and nurturing her baby. You want to hear all that story at 5 p.m. today on Joy Prime and also on the Family Forum Africa channel. And if you're looking to be a sponsor on 40 weeks and more, the numbers to call will be 059-288-9986 or 026-287-4707. Have you heard the good news? SG Ghana is giving away lots of amazing prizes, including a brand new luxurious Toyota RAV4 Adventure in the SG Ghana Deposit and Drive promo. Ish. Who's that lucky winner going to be? Simply deposit 500 CDs or multiples of it into your SG Ghana account and stand a chance of winning big. Non-customers can open an account to participate from now until 30th May 2025. You can win amazing prizes, including trips to Singapore or Dubai, Samsung mobile phones, air fryers, microwaves, TVs, or the ultimate prize, a brand new Toyota RAV4 from Toyota Ghana Company Limited. Minya, Wubecha 7Y, Menadao. The more you deposit, the better your chances of winning. So join the SG Ghana Deposit and Drive promo today. Visit your nearest branch or call 0302-214-314 for further inquiries. This promo is regulated by National Lotteries Authority. On the Caritas Lottery platform, terms and conditions apply. Société Générale, the future is you. And the joy of every parent once they get is to see their children grow healthy and become more intelligent and physically fit. And to achieve this desire, every parent needs to ensure that their children are given nutritious foods that has the essential nutrients which can promote their well-being. One of the best of such nutritious foods is Vitamilk soy milk drink. It is made from whole grain soybean, which is a good source of plant protein, and it is enriched with omega-3, 6, and 9. Calcium and all the essential nutrients and multivitamins recommended for your healthy living. Vitamilk has no artificial colorings, no artificial flavorings, and no preservatives. Go on and choose the Vitamilk Champ for your children because the protein, calcium, and omega-3, 6, and 9 in there have all proven to help your adorable children grow smarter, healthier, and stronger every day. Vitamilk also comes in the regular soy milk drink. Vitamilk Energy, the energy booster with no caffeine. You have the choco, the banana, the strawberry, and the 250 mils and the 1 liter Tetra Pak. That's how you can buy it. It's indeed a nutritious beverage that feels good anywhere, anytime. Alex, your final words and we're out of here.
So what I would like to chip in with the security doors, because again it's the fire is there. If you do, whether you like it or not, it will come. But it's about staying safe. So apart from the Googling it, one other thing you can do is that these doors also have ratings. So depending on the rating that you find on these doors, that will determine how long the door can withstand heat. So obviously these doors are subject to some level of laboratory test, but then the rating of these doors, the higher the rating, the more fire resistant it is to fires. So as I said, you can still Google, and then based on the rating of the door that you are buying, know the kind of fire resistance. Some can resist fires up to 30 minutes, 1 hour, 15 minutes even, depending on the rating of these doors. So before you buy them, look beyond security and think about safety also. Well. Exactly.
And in 30 seconds, the phone matter. Let's quickly issue the no, because that one they're almost all of us are guilty.
So phone sends some radiation. That's why even at the filling station, when you are buying fuel, you are told not to use your mobile phones because mobile phones emit some radiation signals. That's a form of heat. So once you do that in the kitchen, it means that the kitchen already there's gas there, there's oxygen. You're emitting this this signal. It can be very disastrous. So please, if you are fond of that, tomorrow is Sunday, go to church, and pray repent to God to give you the energy to repent, so you don't use your mobile phones in the kitchen.
Oh, great. Alex, thank you so much.
My
it's been
pleasure.
2 weeks of a lot of education, things that we do in our homes, things that can end up stealing the joy we have in our homes.
Exactly.
And thank you for availing yourself for this. We're not done.
For you.
We will call you. We
Any
will
day,
plan
any day.
probably every quarter. we should have these conversations
Sure.
and all the other conversations
to remind
that will-
people on how to stay safe.
It's very, very, very important.
Exactly.
And we thank you. We are very happy that you do it also in a very fun manner.
Thank you very,
Very
much.
appreciative
Thank
of
very
you.
much.
Thank you very much, Alex.
You're very
And this is
welcome.
how we end Home Affairs today. Next week, we will be here with another educative session on Home Affairs. My name is Edem Knight-Tay. Daniela, thank you so much. And to everybody who's worked in the background to make sure that Home Affairs happened this morning. God bless you. We appreciate you. And we say thank you.
Feel the excitement. Enjoy the conversation. Come with us on this exciting journey of growth and personal development. We challenge you to break the status quo, step out and do big things. Catch host Reverend Albert Okran as he vibes with CEOs, experts, and change makers. Right here on Springboard, your virtual university. Now showing every Sunday at 9 p.m. on Joy News TV, 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM, and streaming online on Facebook and YouTube. You can't miss it. Partners, MTN Ghana, Enterprise Group, and the Ghana Grows Program. A collaboration between MasterCard Foundation and Springboard Roadshow Foundation. Media partners, Joy FM, Joy News TV, and Graphic. Springboard. Your personal value will shoot up.
Here's where we turn around. Here's where we turn around.
We've come a long way, yet